Good evening, everybody, and welcome back. Sammy here at Sammy J Stitches, and it is a new video here on FlossTube this week. This is a channel about cross stitch. If that's not your thing, this isn't the place for you. I don't talk about much of anything else. Okay, I know it's been 2 weeks since my last FlossTube. I apologize. Between being utterly mentally exhausted last week and just wanting to get some stitches in and not feeling like I really had enough content to show you, I skipped. And I hated myself all week for it. Not hated myself, that's a little dramatic, but I thought about it constantly. I'm like, I do one every week, and this week I missed, and that just bothers me. And that's not to say that since it's been 2 weeks that I have more content, because like un poquito. I just haven't been doing a lot of stitching, and the stitching that I have, I mean, it's an adequate amount of stitching. It's been on very few projects, because with everything else going on, trying to keep to my rotation, trying to switch projects, trying to keep my brain wrapped around everything that I normally do, it's just not possible. I know I get several comments all the time. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you keep up with so much stuff. Because normally I have time. Normally I'm sitting here 12 hours a night, and I can take the time to sit down and write down everything and figure it all out. I have time to prepare my projects or whatever it is that I choose to do. And not to say I didn't have that same time this last week, just not as much of it. So I was trying to maximize the amount of stitching that I was doing and decompress a little bit. I didn't even get on virtual stitchers. I literally needed a night where nobody said my name, if that makes any sense. Not this past weekend, the weekend before, the one I would have made my last video right after. I spent the entire few days, in case you're new here, I'm helping my mother move. I'm helping to pack her house, clean her house, on top of, I think I'm considered full-time because I'm still getting 3 days a week, which means I'm working 36 hours a week. Really 40 plus when you think of my drive time, because I drive an hour to and from work. So working a full-time job, being a mother that's homeschooling her children, who are 10 and 13, which is a very new adventure. So we're just now getting that rhythm and that what works for us. I'm learning how they learn so that we can make it the best situation possible. So working full-time, doing homeschool, and then on my days off, I'm cleaning and packing and moving, and it's been a lot. It has been a lot. So on the days when I work, and this sounds really backwards to most people's jobs, I am fortunate enough to have a job where I pretty much just sit here all night and make sure nobody does anything they're not supposed to do. When somebody does show up, I ask the COVID questions. I make sure they're approved to move through my gate. So I have a lot of time to myself when I'm at work, and so that's the time I stitch, or I deal with some of the stuff I can't get to on the days that I'm off. Well, that last weekend, also I should mention that my grandmother is particularly ill and frail. She's an older woman, and she's got a lot of health issues, and she can't walk on her own. Anyway, a lot. So basically, I would be in the middle of packing, and my grandmother would ring her bell for me to take her to the bathroom, and then I have to walk her back to her room. And then I would get to packing, and the kids would need help with a homework assignment, or I would get to packing and my mom would need to go buy more boxes or whatever, and she had me go with her. Just constant somebody needing my attention, and still having all this stuff I need to do on my own. So when I got back to work, I was like, I'm not talking to anybody. I don't want anybody to say my name. I don't want to hear mommy. I don't want to hear Sammy. I don't want to hear Sam. I don't want So I decompressed for a couple days. I decompressed the first day, and then after that, my mom and my grandmother had come and stayed at my house, and so that we could go look at houses. So then I turned around and I had them there for a couple days, and then they went home, and then and then I had one night here at work, and then we went back up there to help move some more. So it's been this constant going. So I didn't film a floss tube last week. I also have thrown my rotation out the window, made changes to all my plans, participated in as little as possible when it came to the groups and the challenges and the constant. Now I still have to participate a little bit, one, because I'm in a group where a team depends on me, so I still did those stitches, but also I like that it gives my stitching a little extra purpose. It really does help motivate me to stitch. When I don't have that, I don't get near as many stitches done. I just don't. My brain is one of those where it wants to be doing multiple things at a time. So if I could be sitting here watching a show plus getting stitches done that count for this group, I feel the most accomplished. And at the end of the day, did I do anything to improve my life? No. Did I do anything that in the long run is going to help build a better future? Not at all. But do I feel accomplished? Yes, I do. Very much so. And I really feel like having hobbies and that sort of thing it's important. Even if it doesn't in the end make you money or help your life to change in any way, it keeps you sane. It keeps you regulated, mentally and emotionally and all that. So I think it's very important, and I wish everybody had a hobby. I know that there are people out there that do not, and I feel sorry for them. So I didn't mean to ramble about all this at the beginning, and there will be some more rambling about life stuff at the end. But all of this was to say, you're not going to see very many whips, because I've kind of narrowed my focus, and it'll probably be that way for about 2 to 3 more weeks. I'm taking this week off. I am not going to pack boxes. I am not going to clean house. Well, I might clean my house. I'm going to have a couple chill days at home. So, that just moves our timeline a little further back, though. That means that we've got more to do. So, I will get back to all that in a minute, because there's some stuff I need to tell you. But not everybody here is here for my banter. They don't want to know about the drama in my life. They want to know about the whips. So, yeah. I think I forgot to say today is Monday, October 26th. Again, I normally would have filmed last night, but I'm trying to find that groove. And we did homework video last night. I hope you enjoyed that. I'm trying to get back to doing that somewhat regularly. Lisa Lane over at Shady Tree Stitchers out here on FlossTube and I are kind of alternating, not in any sort of like pattern, but sometimes it'll be here, sometimes it'll be there. Who knows, some days you may get us both because the one didn't talk to the other type situation. But so that's where homework stands. Yeah, so the 12th, so we're talking 2 weeks back, y'all. We are almost through October. What the heck happened? I worked a little bit more, or I think I might have showed this to you last video. I tried to watch last video to kind of refresh, but then I was distracted. So last week I worked on this, and the problem with waiting 2 weeks is I don't really remember how or why or what, but it is what it is. I worked on Needleworker from Little House Needleworks. I may be repeating myself. If so, I apologize. But this is, it wasn't meant to be a personal conversion. This pattern comes in Crescent Colorworks, or yeah, Crescent Colors, something like that. which are not available anymore. They have turned into classic color work, so some of the colors like came over, but not all of them. And the ones that didn't, well, no, I take that back, because the couple that I could not find a DMC conversion for, I could have bought the floss from Classic Colorworks, but I didn't want to. When I kitted this up, I wanted to do it all in DMC. So I was working on this the other night, and I was running into walls everywhere I turned, because one, the actual cover photo, which I will pull up and show you, the colors that, okay, so this color that's right here, the top of the word, it did have a DMC conversion on whatever website I was using, and it was a much more vibrant gold brown. I love it. I kind of wish I had paid a little more attention and got a better conversion instead of just going with whatever I found. Don't get me wrong, I love this. I did like that brown better. I'm fixing to show it to you. If I can get my phone to do what I need it to do. So I can pull it up. Nope. Okay. View full size. That's what I want to do. Will it rotate? There we go. Okay. So here's what it looks like. See, it's much more vibrant. I didn't realize that when I went with whatever conversion I found. So when I went to go get a conversion for one of these colors over here, I believe it was the green. Pretty sure it was the green. There's drama on the news front. Y'all will find out about that later, I'm sure. Okay, so when I was converting the green, when I would find it, it said no available conversion. And I said, oh, great. Now I'm going to have to wing this myself. Okay, so I went looking. I have one of these big floss boxes. It has an entire set of I just punched myself in the face with it. I hope y'all are laughing. I hope you were laughing your ass off. Okay, it has an entire set of DMC, so I can just pop it open, take a look through, and see what color is going to work best for me. Now, when I did this, I think I even did a blend, because I was trying to find, like, I pulled up a picture and I was trying to match them closely, but also I had to think about how this color would affect the color surrounding it, because it's not as bright as the pattern, and so I couldn't put a super bright color here and have it just totally not go well. So, and like I said, I think this is a blend. I have it written down somewhere. And so when I first started stitching it in, I was like, oh man, this is too dark. I could not really even tell the difference. I can now. I think at the time I was kind of in a mood. I was very frustrated that there wasn't just a flat, okay, this is the DMC you use. And then, so I was trying to figure it out myself, and I was getting frustrated. And at first I said, that's too dark. But now looking at it, it's a nice green. It goes well with the colors that I already had in. So then, this bird is in the same thing from around here, so that wasn't an issue. But then we had this wing, and so as I'm, again, I run into it doesn't have a DMC conversion. And so I'm having to pick out the colors for that and that. Especially this, I actually ended up really falling in love with how that made everything work. So I didn't want super bright colors, again, because this is all kind of muted. It's kind of, prim comes to mind, but it's almost like when you take a color photo and you just kind of dull it some. And the colors shift a little bit, and I love it. When I say dull, I don't mean in a negative context. I mean in just the tone. So I need to make sure I kept with that tone when I picked out the other colors. And your opinion can be whatever it is, and I appreciate every comment. But I love how well I did with making sure they were all like the same shade and they're giving the same. I'm not an art major. I can't tell you all the different what I'm trying to say, but I feel like it all flows very well together. And even this, now this was the DMC version of that Classic Colorworks color, and it's a little bit light. It almost, like when you're looking at it just right, it almost blends with my fabric. It's just a slight bit lighter, but there's something about that I love because it gives it that texture without a whole lot of color. So I'm just, all that to say, I'm really happy with it. Let me make sure I don't have to step outside for this person. And I do. Sorry about the interruption. At work, have to do my job. Who'd have thought it? Okay, so all that to say how much I am happy with myself about how this turned out. Would I like a version closer to what was charted because that's what drew my eye to it? Yes, definitely. Enough to restitch it? No. And I like my changes and how well they're working together to create their own type of filling. So I love it. I'm really happy with where it's at. I'm done to like here, I think. Oh, I don't know. There might be something else there. But this will get moved. This stitches up really quick, y'all. Like why it's been in my stash for so long, I don't know. But I love it, and I already know how I'm going to finish it. I already know where I'm going to hang it in my house. So the quicker I get it done, the better. So yeah. Also, sometimes I look in the wrong place for the camera. So if I'm looking at you like this, it's because I think I'm looking at the camera and I'm not. Okay, moving on. So I worked on that last week, and then again, I cannot remember why, other than maybe just I wanted to. I pulled my fairing ornament back out. I know I talked to y'all about this last week. It's my newest Hate start. It was my reward to myself for completing a bingo line on WIPGO. If you are not familiar with WIPGO, we are kind of winding down to the end of the year. You're welcome to join. It's not my group. It's run by Jessie Marie from Jessie Marie Does Stuff. You're welcome to go ahead and join and try and complete whatever you can by the end of the year. But it's really about the time we start planning for next year's WIPGO. So now is a really good time to join and get everything ready to go to have your own. And what WIPGO is it's a bingo board, except instead of bingo on the top, it says WIPGO. And you put projects on there with your own set of goals. And when you complete with, and you don't have to wait until they're called, but it's kind of set your own rules for how you play. But the basic idea is 2 numbers are called each month, and then if you've completed the goal that you have set for yourself for that block, you mark it off, and then you're trying to get yourself a bingo or a blackout or 4 corners. Again, it's all you. It's very low key. It's very self-paced. The way I play it is I work on those projects as I'm going to all year. If they get called and I haven't finished them, I just kind of put a little box around them, and I keep going. And then when I do complete the goal, that's when I mark it off. So sometimes something may get called in January, but I don't get to mark it off till September. And then sometimes I finish it in January, but it doesn't get called till July. Well, I don't get to count it until it's called. That's my rule to me. So sometimes you have to wait for that bingo. So anyways, if you have any questions about that, you can ask me or pop over to the group, ask Jessie, watch her videos on it, that sort of thing. So I completed a bingo. My reward to myself was getting to start a new Hade that I had kitted up earlier this year. So I worked on it some more. And I know, it's not very much. But, I mean, actually it's quite a bit. It really is, especially because this is an ornament. It's very small. It's a little bit bigger than my Q-snap, so I can't get to all the places I need to be. But It's fairly small. I'm going to see if I can pull up the picture of it real quick. And I am doing this 2/1 tent stitch. I had to remember because it's been a while. And I figured I'm going to attempt not cross-country color completing, anything like that. But for the most part, I stick with a color for a good amount of time. Like so far, I've done black, and there's a couple lighter colors in here that you really can't even see because they're so light. Like right here, you might, maybe you can see it if I turn it there just right. And I think there's one in the middle here somewhere. But anyways, I threw those in for whatever reason. But mostly I worked on the black. They look like little tick marks. I'm going different ways to keep my fabric from... I've never done tent stitching before. My brain fights it really hard because my brain says a cross stitch is supposed to be a full cross. But I decided to attempt it with this one. You know, every height I try and stitch a little bit differently so that, one, it doesn't feel like I'm doing the same thing all the time. And two, so I experiment and I learn what I like, what I don't like. Here is the pattern. This is Heaven and Earth Designs Ornament Fairy Spell. It's part of it's a piece out of a bigger one. And it's just absolutely gorgeous. So that is this. And I'm doing it on it's a 28 count easy guide that I got. This one I got from Stony Creek. I usually buy it from 123 Stitch, but they were out because COVID. So there's that. Oh, I have my magnet on backwards for some reason. This is actually a magnet I got from Jessie Marie. It says School of Wizardry and Stitchcraft. So how awesome is that? She sent it to me as a gift. Okay. So next I worked on, actually one that I worked on even before all that, but a lot since that. So actually I may have to take it off the Q-snap so you can see all the progress that has been made. I'm gonna pull it out. Is Legendary Creatures. I have been focusing on my scavenger hunt stuff last week, a little bit even the week before. So let me go ahead and pop this side off so you can see. I think I barely had to finish Rainbow Serpent last time we spoke, and since then I have completed WIPGO right here. I'm almost done with this little guy. I'm not going to try and pronounce his name. You are welcome to. Brykolaks. He looks like a vampire to me, or maybe some sort of undead. I don't know. I just need to finish a few stitches in his ribs of a color I didn't have the other night. And then I've started on You, which again is another name I don't remember. So we're getting good progress. But do you notice something? I'm going to give you a minute. I'm supposed to have another row because W, X, Y, Z, right? Do you want to see how close to the end of my fabric I am? I cannot fit the next row. And I knew that before I started WIPGO because I counted after I finished Rainbow Serpent. I was like, what am I going to do? And I think I must have turned it the wrong way when I put it in the Q-snap the first time because I still have all this fabric over here. So I must have turned it wrong. So I got really frustrated for a few minutes and I wanted to throw it out the window because y'all know how much I love this project in the first place. And now we've got issues. But I am crafty in some sense of the word, and I can fix this. Not fix it. I can, what do you call that? There's a word I'm looking for here. I don't know. I'm gonna fudge it. So basically what I'm gonna do is once I've gotten to that last row, I'll finish out this row so I know exactly where everything sits. I will trim off this extra fabric that I'm like this, you know, and I will attach it to the bottom there and then stitch the next row. So as I'm doing that, I will probably make a few little clips to kind of show y'all how I do it because it is finicky. It's not something people typically do. I had to do it with Monopoly, so I know that I am capable, but it's not easy. And especially because that was Ada, so it blended together a little bit better. This is linen, so I'm not quite sure how that's going to go. We're just going to have to see. So this is where I'm at. It's coming along lovely. I have like 6, 8, 10 stitches here. And then STUXYZ. So 6 letters, one of which is like maybe not quite half completed. So that's how my Legendary Creatures is going. This is on linen. I want to say 32 count. I can't remember off the top of my head, which I normally can. Hold on. I just saw it. Let's see. 32 count linen in Lycan's Moon from Under the Sea Fabrics. So I don't know if that's a color she still carries, but it dyes gorgeously. It's very similar to the Hamlet I'm using for Lady of the Flag, except like lighter. So Hamlet would be the dark version, this would be the light version. It is getting very yuck outside. Like I can't, it's getting darker because the fog is rolling in. It's supposed to start sleeting soon. If it's not already, it's supposed to be snowing at some point tonight. Y'all, it's crazy. It was 91 degrees yesterday. 91. Today, it is, or right now, 32. It is freezing. Literally freezing temperatures outside. Welcome to Texas. All right. So the next thing a couple things I worked on were also my scavenger hunts. And I'll actually be pulling this one out tonight and working on it. And that is Mini Alice in a Dolly Dream. You can see I've gotten in an entire row and then some this week because it's one of the things I've actually been working on. It's been going pretty smoothly, especially down here where we don't have a lot of colors going on. So getting closer and closer to that page finish. I'll be working on this gold, melting gold here tonight. So I need 200 stitches on it for something with a mirror because the swans are in the lake, which reflects as a mirror. Had this whole long spiel about the last two and then hardly anything on this one. This is Mini Alice in a Dolly Dream from Heaven and Earth Designs by Jasmine Beckett Griffith. Again, I'm not stitching this for myself, it's for someone else. But the more work I put into it, the more I'm like, really? No, it's gorgeous. I enjoy stitching her, but I wouldn't actually want her because she has like a face that stares at you. Not really my thing. Okay, and she's on 28 count, easy count, 1/1 full cross. All right, what else? My Anzac. Where is my Anzac? Let's see. Oh, look, right here. I worked on Anzac some too. In fact, before I work on this week, I need to move the Q-snap. We're gonna go up. I have the pink and both the dark purples done all the way to the corner, and now we're gonna keep moving up. This is the middle of the project, right in here. So we're about halfway through with the dark purples, and then I'll come back and I think it's gonna get to where it's gonna be too hard to do both sides every time. So I'll probably just start moving this way, and then we'll come back and go this way with the rainbowing that I'm doing. This is by Long Dog Samplers. It's, again, I picked out these colors. I'm doing this in the 20 count. So I took Pattern Keeper and I put it on the 20 count diagonals, like diagonal stitchers do. And then just at each diagonal, I'm changing colors. So I just dropped a needle. This is on 32 count Lugana in Reflection from Mystic Fabrics. It was a fabric of the month. It's absolutely gorgeous. Nice universal blue. So, feel like there was something else I was going to say about this one. I'm going to be using this one quite a bit this week for different things I need to stitch on. And this one's nice because it's, you know, not a lot of color changing, bulk stitching. It moves fast. But I want to get some of the other stuff done, which is one of the reasons I've been kind of trying to not just focus on one of them. I'm trying to work my way around. Okay, the last thing I have is a new whip. This was not in my kitted. This was not something that I'm stitching for myself. The lady that I work with, she does crafty things, and she wanted to try her hand at cross stitching and decided very quickly that it was not for her. She was like, oh, whoa, what did I get myself into? But she really loves this kit that she picked up. So she asked me if I would stitch it for her. I agreed on the principle that I have no clue when it'll get finished, because y'all know I don't stick to things till they're finished. I don't like deadlines. I don't like pushing myself. So I told her I'll do it as long as you don't expect me to have it done in any sort of time. So I started this last night. This is a Dimensions kit. It's Creative Accents, Butterfly Expressions. And I love that butterfly there in the middle. It helps too that while the whole design is not my aesthetic, so it's not something I would have picked for myself, I do love butterflies. I love the coloring, the way they did the color in there. So I'm going to enjoy stitching on it. And y'all know me, I stitch stuff for other people all the time. They just, most of the time, they don't know about it. So they don't have that expectation of time. So I got started on this. I was alternating. I would get a block done on Alice, and then I would put a strand in here, and then I would do a block on Alice, and then a strand in here, until about 4 o'clock. I knew I couldn't get an entire block of, well, I guess it's a little after 4. I knew I couldn't get another entire block done on Alice, and I didn't want to leave just a partial block when I left for work, so I put it up, and then I just stitched on this for a bit until my relief got here. And I'm working on it for her, so then of course I showed her where I got to, and that's what I'll do in the morning too. So I think I'm gonna work on this each night that I work here and that we work together, so I can show her the progress each night, just because that would be fun. And so if I don't do like an alternating thing like what I did last night, I'll probably stop whatever stitching I'm doing at like 4 a.m. and then devote my last hour to an hour and a half on this one, especially because this one's small. So if I pack up everything else, I've only got this small kit, and in this one I even just left it sitting over here because it's hers and it's not in her way. Anyway, I'm totally babbling. It's on a printed fabric, a 14 count Aida, and I love this fabric, although it means you really have to line it up right. But if you'll see, they have it marked where you need to start stitching. There's that arrow in that one. So that was all good. All good. So I got the middle part of the butterfly going a bit there. I've done about 3 different colors, a strand or 2 of each, depending on where I was at. I think I'm really on 1 strand each so far. But that black looks like it went a lot further. I don't know. Anyway, and I'm trying to keep my back as neat as possible because it's not for me. So there's where my back looks like right now. I mean, it's not perfect. I've seen much prettier, but it's not bad. So that is something I will be working on, and you may see some of next week. And I'll try when I finish it to either be able to show y'all or take a picture at least, because I'll give it to her since she relieves me at work. She will work on getting it fully finished. I'm just going to stitch. Okay, so that is 2 weeks worth of whips for me. Obviously no finishes. That's my new start. Got a new start coming up on the 29th. I don't know what it is yet, so y'all will see next week. I feel like maybe a Halloween piece. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Okay, I do have some mail. Let me go get that, and I will be right back. Okay, sorry about that. All right, stuff and things. I got 2 packages in the mail today. This lovely one and this one. This is my fabric of the month from Under the Sea Fabrics, which I will show you here in a moment. And this was a gift from a very special viewer here on my floss tube who is so incredibly generous. But I'll get to that in here in a second. So this month's fabric of the month is Spellbound. Mine is a 32 count Lugana, and it's a gray color, like a light. Jobelin doesn't tend to model very much, if at all. It also dyes way lighter than the other ones. I love stitching on Jobelin so much, but man, and I love this color, don't get me wrong, but the stuff, the way the other fabrics dye is just so much better than Jobelin. So much more interesting, I should say. But I love gray. I feel like it works with a lot, especially if you're in the light to medium tones. I'm going to open this, just kind of pull it out, because sometimes, sorry, crunching, you don't see the modeling necessarily on the folded part. Really? Can you just not, let's see. Yeah, there's next to no modeling there. There's a little bit, you can see just a little bit, but not a lot. It's very solid. Huh, okay. But you can see a little bit of it's a little darker here than here. But that's okay. I absolutely love gray fabric and I will use it. Alright, and I also got a cut of 32 count linen, and see, this is kind of what I'm saying, like, it's a little bit darker, it's got a little bit more modeling. I'm not taking it out, it doesn't belong to me. I've purchased it for somebody else. So, but man, I feel like I kind of wish I could afford to do 2 cuts every month and get linen and Jobelin. Jobelin I like to stitch on, and linen just looks nicer. You know, and honestly, when it comes to Leslie's fabrics, I have noticed I do not have as much trouble with the linen as I do from other companies. So, I mean, I probably should just switch to linen. But sometimes I like the subtlety of Jobelin. I was trying to get that package open and ripped my nail off. That was unpleasant. Okay, so that was that. Next. I did not confirm with this person that I could say their name on my floss tube, so I won't. But I do, you'll know who you are if you're watching when I talk about this. And I want to say thank you so much for your generosity and for the card that made me cry. I'll be honest, like, cry. So, anyway, I'll show you the card. I cannot read the card. I will be completely honest. I couldn't even finish it when I first started reading it because I need to film this. So I will go and have a good cry with it here in a little bit, but it's a very cute card. So this person watches my floss tube and they message me on Instagram. And y'all are always welcome to message me on Instagram, Facebook. I prefer more than just a hi, how are you doing? Because that makes me think of spam. Like, can you say something that I can have a response to other than I'm doing good? Because that just, it's awkward for me. Sorry. I may not respond. I've gotten a few spam in my Instagram that they're just hi or hi, how are you? Like, I don't know who. Even if you say hi, I follow you on FlossTube. Okay, I'm immediately going to respond to you. Or maybe not immediately, but as soon as I can. Just something other than just hi. Okay, anyway, she messages me and she said that she knows there's this one series that I've really enjoyed stitching. She bought several of the series thinking she was going to love it and wanted to stitch all of them, and then realized she didn't like them. So she asked me if she could send me the patterns that she wasn't going to stitch, or that I didn't have of the set. So I was like, yeah, sure, of course, I'd love to stitch them. And then if you ever have anything of mine that you like, you let me know and we'll work something out, because I'm not always super comfortable with just receiving. I'm a giver. when it comes to my family, when it comes to friends, when it comes to, so if somebody else is trying to be the giver and I can't do anything to reciprocate, I start to feel like, I don't know, weird. Anyway, so, she sent me, because these are the Plum Street samplers. I finished Fox View. I'm working on Tired Trio. I have a couple more in my stash that I want to start eventually. So she sent me these. She got Llama Lump. Super cute. And then Cow Pile. And Gobble Gob. Now, I will say that I think my turkeys will need some sprucing up. I think they need, I love gray. I think it's a great color. Kind of matches mine a little bit. I got some blue gray going on there. But I feel like they need a little bit more pop. So they are probably going to change colors. They may need a little like goldy brown color in there. I don't know. Something. And I'm really tempted to start this one like in 3 days for the 29th start, because Thanksgiving is coming next month, and why not have a Thanksgiving piece going? Ooh, I really want to. I may have to start more than one thing. I may have to start all the things soon, y'all. I'm really starting to get the itch to have some new stuff, but then I really like all my whips and I can't even get to all of them. You know how it is. Y'all all think this way. Okay, so we discussed her sending me those patterns. But, and I know I'm guilty of this too. Most of the time when you say you're going to send something, you tend to send more than just that something. And she's so graciously did. I can't even begin to express how special this package was for me this week. So, sorry. I thought I got it all out before I started. Okay, she sent me Fortnite fabrics. I have never had Fortnite fabrics. I've heard so much about them. I know they get on my virtual stitchers group on Friday nights, and they visit with, not every Friday night obviously, but some Friday nights, and visit with everybody. I don't tend to get on Friday nights because it's super busy and it's a little overwhelming for me, especially since I'm home with my kids. But I would love to someday actually get to say hi. But, so anyway, she sent me a 28 count even weave. This is called Panther Cap. It's a gray, but it's leaning more towards like the purpley side of gray. It has a nice modeling, not too much, not too subtle. And so I'm going to guess this is more of a Lugana or maybe even a Monaco. Definitely not a Joblin, which is cool. I just like the evenness of the even weaves, and it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I'm so excited to get to stitch something on that, and add one more amazing fabric dyer to my stash. I really need to branch out and start buying fabrics from everybody. I do. Very soon I'm going to start one a month, right? Y'all start recommending. Down below in the comments, you start recommending hand-dyed fabrics to me, and I'm going to start shopping them. I now, I do the Leslie at Under the Sea Fabrics and Misty at Mystic Hand Dyes. I've bought from Picture This Plus, and I've bought from Fiberlicious. I've gotten some R&R. I'm not big on that one. You can move on. And I don't like Weeks. And now I have a Fortnite. So if you can recommend. Oh, and I've had some color cascades because Belinda has sent me some of those. I think I even have one Seraphim fabrics that was sent to me. Anyways, any others, comment below. All right, and then on top of that, she sent me, this amazing woman. These are so beautiful. Like I don't even know if I can stitch with them because they're so beautiful. Her July silk of the month from Silks for You. Y'all, those are some of the most amazing colors. They feel amazing. Oh, I want to stitch with them so badly, like right now. Oh, y'all, it's amazing. The generosity in the cross stitch community knows no bounds. It is amazing, and people are amazing. I can't even with you. And it's like, I can't help but be like, am I really deserving of something so sweet? And do I give enough to the community to deserve something so sweet? Okay, so that is all I have to show you this week. My whips and my beautiful gifts. So, a little bit more on life, if you would like a quick catch up. Homeschooling is going really well. I've learned that my son is the type that he needs to be able to discuss what he's learning in order for it to like really sink in. And this is something he doesn't get in public school. You know, teachers don't just sit there and go, why don't you tell me what you think about what we're learning? So, I'm so hesitant to send them back to public school at any point. Well, but let's not be hasty or anything. But right now, I'm really liking homeschool. It's a little bit of a struggle bus to get them to do what I need them to do. Ryan more so than Lexi, but when I sit down with him, and it's nice. I mean, I know that for him it's not as fun because it's not fun stuff, but it's nice to have that moment when we're just sitting there together and he's talking to me about what he's learning, or I'm saying, did you think about it this way? Or I feel like we're having some connection and that I'm actually teaching them something. It's just, it feels good. But I've learned about his learning style that he needs to be able to talk it out. So even tonight, after I get done with this floss tube, I'm going to call him and I'm going to get on a Zoom call and I'm going to read his social studies to him, and then we're going to talk about it, and then he'll go take the quiz and he'll pass it. Now, when I was just giving him the work and he was doing it, he was like flying through it and failing the quizzes because he wasn't retaining the information because he needs to be able to talk about it. And so I've learned his learning style and we're working with it, and I feel like it's getting better all the time, despite the fact that I've been out of town for days or doing this or doing that. This is the other nice thing. Sorry, I feel like I can't breathe. About homeschool is we can kind of like take it at our own pace. We can work on it late in the evenings. We can put a pause when I'm busy during the day or whatever. So I'm enjoying homeschool. Who would have thought? I never would have thought that. Never. What else? We went and we moved another 20-foot U-Haul worth of stuff, put it in a storage unit. We're still not done. I know I said like 98% this week, and we're not there. We might be at like 70%. So we're going to have to make another trip. But it's all going smoothly. It's all going for the best. It's just, it's a process, and I expected it to be like a 1-2 punch, and it's really not. But that's okay. The one thing though is, y'all, this year has been something else. For you that are new here, quick emotional recap. My grandmother passed away in April. She fell and hit her head and got a brain bleed and died. She was super healthy. Nobody would have expected her to pass for years. We're talking still going out and drinking with her buddies on Friday night, going to baseball games and walking the mall. Just she was an amazing person with an amazing life that went way too soon. Shortly after that, my husband's uncle died. He was fighting a lot of like liver issues and things like that. So it was less of a shock, but still hard to handle. Somewhere in between that, I forgot, we had a close friend. Well, technically, he was family. He was my husband's aunt's dad. So, like, related but not really, like, married in. And he worked with us here at Tricor for a while before he got to a health point where he had to quit working. And he caught COVID and died from it. And then Tony died. And then my stepdad. I found out about my stepdad's cancer diagnosis the day of my grandmother's funeral in June. And then he passed July 17th. So that's a lot of where I'm dealing with stuff with my mom and my grandma and trying to get all them situated. And then, shortly after that, my husband had a great uncle or something that passed. So it was in the family, but it wasn't like super close. Well, this weekend, his aunt died, and we were really close. So, 2020 has been a train wreck, and I'm over it, and I'm ready to move on. And I'm ready to stop crying on YouTube to all of y'all. I appreciate how much y'all are supportive and that sort of thing. So, I want to keep you informed. I want you to feel like you're my friend that I am just talking to. But I know that it's really hard sometimes. Okay, I need to stop. That's not what this floss tube was supposed to be about. But that's the reason I wanted to get like the stitching and everything kind of out of the way, because I knew once I got emotional I wouldn't be able to stop. So that's part of the reason things have been crazy lately. It's part of the reason my floss tubes are not as consistent as they were, you know, for the longest time. But we have a lot of really great stuff to look forward to coming up soon, and hopefully with all of this stuff done and out of the way, it won't be a train wreck show like it has been. There's a couple really fun games in Sane that I'm looking forward to in November, plus Crystal Academy. I've really enjoyed that group. It's such a mixture of everything, and so far it's going, in my opinion, it's going smoothly. That may not be everybody's opinion. But my biggest event that I host through Virtual Stitchers, but play along even without joining the group if you want, that's cool, is Finish That Stitch December. I started it last year because I was like, I just need to finish some of this beep. But I figure, being a public face on YouTube, that cursing wouldn't be the best route to go. So I called it Finish That Stitch December. And it's just about trying to get those things that are really close to finish knocked out before the new year. So my original plan was to take the WIP that was closest to being finished and finish it, and then pull out the next closest and all the way through. But it didn't work out like that. I ended up doing like an advent, like I put them all in packages and I opened one each day and that sort of thing. It's kind of however you want to do it, but yeah, so I'm looking forward to that in December. And when I do that, I will be doing daily vlogs again. So that is it. I really need to get to stitching. I hope y'all all had a great stitchy week. I'm glad this video is longer than 15 minutes. And thank you for all the love and support. Thank you for liking, subscribing, commenting, everything that you do to show your love and support my channel. I appreciate it. Appreciate you. You don't know how much. I hope y'all have a great week, and I will see you next week. I promise.